Good morning, one and all, and welcome to this edition of Taking Stock. I hope you're well. Today I want to share with you a little bit of testimony of Nelson Mandela. This is what he wrote. After becoming president, I asked some of my bodyguard members to go with me for a walk into town. After the walk, we went for lunch at a restaurant. We sat in one of the most central ones, and each of us asked what we wanted. After a bit of a wait, the waiter brought us our menus, and it was then that I realised that at the table right in front of ours, there was a single man waiting to be served. When he was served, I told one of my soldiers, "Go and ask that man to join us." The soldier went and transmitted my invitation, and the man stood up, took the plate and sat down next to me. While he was eating, his hands were constantly shaking, and he didn't once lift his head from the food. When we'd finished eating, he waved at me without ever looking at me. I shook his hand, and he walked away immediately. One soldier said to me, "Madiba, that man must be very sick. His hands couldn't stop shaking all the while he was eating." "Not at all," I said. "The reason for his terror is another thing." And they looked at me confused, and I said to them, "That man was the guardian of the jail I was locked up in. Often after I was tortured, I would scream and cry for water, and he would come in and humiliate me." He laughed at me, and instead of giving me water, he would urinate on my head. He wasn't sick. He was shaking because he was scared. He shook, fearing that now that I am president of South Africa, that I would send him to jail and do the same things he did with me, torturing him, humiliating him. But that's not me. That behaviour is not part of my character or my ethics. Minds that seek revenge destroy states, while those that seek reconciliation build nations. I read that short testimony from Nelson Mandela and was really moved. I do wish we had more statesmen and women of the same character as Nelson Mandela. Leaders who knew that minds who seek revenge destroy states and countries, but those who seek reconciliation transform nations. I read it too and wondered how I would have felt if I'd have been in that situation. How we often behave to one another. Jesus said, "By this all people will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another." And quite honestly, the truth is, our witness to our communities proclaims not that we love one another, but that at best we often tolerate one another. I'm challenged by the story of Nelson Mandela's experience in that restaurant. And I'm challenged about how we, within our churches, as we walk towards another Christmas time, probably the strangest Christmas of all of our lifetimes, to really think about the kind of character we have within us. That's what Mandela said in his response to his guard that kind of retaliatory, can't say that word this early in the morning, retaliation, let's say that one instead, that's not part of his character or his ethics. What's our character like? What are our ethics like? Are we known as people who embrace those we disagree with? Who laugh with those who we don't necessarily get on with? Who find joy in others? Or are we those who hold grudges and keep clenched fists? Following on that Advent theme I talked about this week in Taking Stock, and on Sunday, the Advent idea that the Celts had was that only those who humbled themselves, only those who were prepared to be brought low by God, could catch a glimpse of the Christ child. This Advent, let's be a people who humble ourselves, who grow into the calling that we have, that our witness might be as bright as that of Nelson Mandela. In the name of Christ I pray. Amen.